Hi, I'm Anne Edwards, and thanks for joining us on GE13, the Showdown. Now, the opposition launched its manifesto on February 25th, entitled Manifesto Rakyat Pakatan Harapan Rakyat. And this is aimed to capture the attention and, of course, the pledge of 13 million voters in Malaysia based on reducing their financial burden, among other promises. With me on stage and on set to also discuss this is Mr. Khoo Kay Peng, who is strategy and management consultant and also a political analyst. Welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
So is it a populist or reformist manifesto?
Well, I think we have got to look into the items contained within the manifesto. And I think that on the second part of it, we have to understand what is the meaning of populist and what is the meaning of reformist. Populist largely means something that appeals to the masses. When you propose a thing, the masses, because of the benefit contained within the manifesto.
So has it appealed to the masses?
It will appeal in certain sense because there are a lot of things to take away, definitely. But reforms always come difficult.
All right.
Yeah, there is a difficult thing. It can be behavioral change, and in this aspect, it will probably, you will have got to look at perhaps governance change, policy review, things that I think will take a little while before you see the fruits of reforms.
All right. So the significant promises and changes that Pakatan is promising here is like, for example, a take-home household income of at least 4,000 a month, and allocation to fund minimum wage of up to 2 billion ringgit. Yeah. It spells almost like a mini budget here, the manifesto. Kay Peng, has this actually attracted a lot of people?
I mean, the 4,000 household income part is interesting. It's attractive.
Okay.
Imagine people making 2,000 a month will automatically feel and can smell that their income being doubled. This is what I call the populist part, right? But the reform part is what is required to push household income up to 4,000. And unfortunately, that part of it, the mechanics of it, the mechanism on how to bring household level from, for example, 2,000 or 3,000 up to 4,000 is not addressed. If you look back into GDP per capita, Malaysians average are earning about 23,000 per year.
Right.
And to achieve a 4,000 household income, and we are taking an assumption that there is a breadwinner per household, we need to approximately reach double of that amount. So within such short time, I think mechanism will have to be put in. But of course, again, there are also populist measures to achieve that. One, of course, is to push up inflation and to, of course, devalue. And that will be one of the easier way to achieve that. But what would that translate? Would that translate into real demand power, enhancement of real demand power or not? So that's why I say that the mechanism, I mean, telling people that you can enjoy a 4,000 household income per month without telling them that, look, to achieve that, there are strings of things that we need to go through. One example, you have got to increase productivity. If you increase productivity, the
because it can't be all just handouts.
It cannot just be all handouts.
Because it would make it seem like the nation's coffer is actually bottomless.
It's bottomless, and of course you can achieve that. I mean, populist, can it be achieved? Yes, of course. But you got to have to push up national debt. You have got to raise more money. You got to raise more bonds, or you have to come up with new revenues. Identify new revenues that are solid. And that can.
But should these mechanics be actually covered in the manifesto, or it can come later?
Well, it will have. I mean, the right thing to do is that, for example, if you look at the last U.S. elections, when you come up with a manifesto, a pledge, or a stand that you're going to take for a particular point within the economic realm, I think the president candidate will have got to then justify how he's going to achieve that. And the nation will then ponder over it and say whether is it justifiable or not. But like, this is the kind of thing, this is no bottomless thing, right? If you increase something on one part, some other things will have to be decreased because there's only a finite number of what you can spend a year.
And we have that large an amount of deficit that we can handle in the country. We'll take a short commercial break. We have a lot of comments here, which we actually picked out from the internet, of course, which is expressing the views of the people towards Pakatan Manifesto, which was recently launched. We'll be right back on Switch Up TV. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. We've been talking to Khoo Kay Peng, who is strategy and management consultant and also political analyst. You've written a lot of things, yeah?
Yes.
Especially about your homeland as well in Penang.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one question that actually pops up here is that whether the Chief Minister actually has such enormous support, yeah? Especially in the mainland. What's your opinion?
Well, I think that, definitely the support is there. But again, like any other political figures in the country, we will have got to attribute the support really to, of course, one, is it his contribution, what he has done for the state, and second, definitely, are there any political push factor that push people from one side to the other side? I think it is definitely, you can see that, there is a slight difference between the mainland and the island. Yeah, a lot of things have concentrated on the island.
Right.
Past leaderships have also focused on the island.
So mainland?
Mainland, I think there has been a bit of neglect, unfortunately. So that's why issues on the mainland are a little bit more different. They are definitely not the center of economic activities. Not much jobs have been created. And I think it's continued to be neglected.
Okay.
Yeah? As for example, the new infrastructure projects that has been announced in Penang.
That's right.
Again, most of the highways are island-centric.
Okay. Coming back to the manifesto,
Sure.
Pakatan Manifesto, there were a lot of comments, especially given by the people when this was launched on the 25th of February, among those being pleasing comments saying that the opposition has the pulse of the nation in their hearts, and the fact that why not give Pakatan a chance? What's your view on this?
Well, I think we should give political parties a chance, whether we be Barisan or Pakatan. I mean, put it in this way. The entire Malaysian political context, we have got to make do with either one or the other. Yeah, it seems that the power bases of political parties have concentrated within these two coalitions. But again, having a pulse of the nation and being able to deliver and fulfill the needs of the people are two different things.
Right.
Yeah. The question is that should we continue to fulfill people's needs through grants, subsidies, and freebies?
That's the main question,
Correct.
actually, on everybody's lips, especially when the budget, is being announced every year. And we're looking at a lot of people out there also who are questioning the fact or the necessity of having a manifesto. They say that, to be frank, nobody reads the manifesto anyway.
Well, then that is the point. I think Malaysians would have made a big mistake for not reading the manifesto. And that is the first mistake. The second mistake will be Malaysians, after reading the manifesto, did not take it seriously. Because this is a political pledge. When our political party comes and asks you for mandate, these are the things that they will put forth and tell you that this is what we can deliver to you. So the people in Malaysia, I think one thing they have got to understand is that we all know allegiance to political parties. We hold no allegiance and responsibility to politicians. It should be the other way around.
That's right. So you hold that manifesto, you understand it, and then when they come by, you say, okay, has this been done?
Has that been done?
Has that been done?
It's what you promised me. We gave you the mandate.
Right.
We have the power to vote you in every 5 years. And you are supposed to be governing in trust of the people. And I think that should be respected. I think no political parties can then turn around and say that, yeah, there are flaws in my manifesto because I don't have time to prepare it. So the question is that, why do you then launch it? You should prepare it, make sure it's comprehensive, make sure it's a very serious document, because that will be a form of a 5-year social contract between you and the people, political parties to the people, right?
And so far, with regards to, we'll do this very quick, perhaps you can give a one-liner. We are also looking forward to Barisan Nasional's manifesto, and has that actually been kept to date, in terms of promises?
Well, we'll see about that. Definitely, I can guarantee you, that the Pakatan National Manifesto will be scrutinized with the same attention and enthusiasm. And what we want to ensure is that political parties are kept on their toes, and they understand that this is a responsibility to the people. When you have made promises, people will hold you on the promises. They will evaluate on these promises to whether give you the mandate or not.
So make it as realistic as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Khoo Kay Peng, who is a political analyst, and of course you've seen a lot of his articles. He is a columnist and a blogger. I'm Anne Edwards. Thank you so much for joining us on GE13 The Showdown Switch Up TV. We'll see you once again. Bye-bye.